My sister ruined my honeymoon. So this story was first posted December 11th, 2024. Pretty recent. Throwaway account as my family uses media. Fake names are being used. I, 37 male. Husband, 36 male. Sister Amber, 45 female. Her partner Tim, 47 male. Brother, 42 male. Mom, 66 female. Cassie, special needs, 67 female. Semi-verbal. I will try to remember that. Important information. My mom, sister, and I are in the care field. My mom is a retired caretaker for over 25 years. My sister is 2 years in care field, and I am 11 years in care field. At any time, Cassie has to be with either my mom, sister, or I, as she is not independent. This was my mom, sister, and Cassie's third cruise. This was everyone else's first ever cruise. My husband and I were married this year, 2024, in our 11th year. Congratulations. Did y'all hear that? My mom has been talking for years about having her immediate family on one big family cruise on her retirement year. She informed my husband and I that she would pay for our portion as well as a balcony suite as a honeymoon present. She told us that this is a family cruise, but we are to treat it like a honeymoon and relax, enjoy, and not to stress. Also to have lots of time to ourselves. We are both worried as it was a lot of money, plus mixing a honeymoon with a family cruise seemed daunting. We weren't sure how to juggle everything, but my mom told us not to worry. We convinced her to allow us to pay for any extra expenses like drinks, items bought on and off the cruise. She agreed. We both thanked her profusely and showed how grateful we were throughout the trip. Unfortunately, our honeymoon/family cruise ended up being an emotional disaster. Though my husband and I had times we were happy and did our best to overcome the overwhelming stress. There was a lot of bullying and temper tantrums from my sister that were unnecessary and uncalled for, directed towards me mostly and sometimes at everyone else. Though my sister has always been high-strung and over-opinionated about most situations, she has also been one of my husband and my biggest supporters, which we value highly. Just by being gay, my husband lost his entire family for his choice, in quotations. So any love and support is something that we value highly. I don't want you to get the wrong idea. We love my sister, but her treatment towards us was not okay. Before the cruise, my siblings, husband, and Tim met up. The cruise topic came up and we all agreed that giving our mom one day to herself to enjoy the cruise without having to take care of Cassie would be a nice thank you for her. My mom was also paying for my sister's and Tim's expenses and all of my brother's expenses as well. This was her choice. Mom is just like, you get a cruise, you get a cruise, you get a cruise. Damn! Very lovely and generous. We talked about how either Amber and Tim or husband and me would take Cassie for the first half of the day and then we could just switch. Since both my sister and I are in the care field, it would only make sense to not have us together. It was a discussion, not a set in stone plan. However, on the cruise, it quickly became clear that my brother and Tim got a free pass not to look after Cassie, and the one day of taking Cassie turned into 4 days of care, lasting 3 to 5 hours on our downtime each time. This was never agreed upon, never discussed, never brought up to me or my husband. The 3 occasions that Cassie was put into my care were out of nowhere. Though I accepted all 3 times as to not cause a scene, and of course I wanted my mom to relax. All 3 times, my sister and mom would go to the spa and spend time together. The 4th time, my husband and I looked after Cassie, just us, so my mom could enjoy around 4 hours by herself alone because she needed a break. This time, it was our choice. As she looked so stressed, she enjoyed the solo time alone. I love Cassie. She's family, but she's also working. She needs a lot of help to do most things. My husband did his best to help out, but I was the primary care. I was happy Cassie was happy, but the 3 times I was given the task was by Amber and not my mom. Each time my husband and I had to cancel our plans together. There were one-time events and couple activities on the cruise that we wanted to experience and weren't even given a choice. It was our turn to take her, and we did. No matter what I did, I always managed to do something wrong. No matter how hard I tried to follow Amber's instructions, I was always missing something. She never stopped reminding me of how lucky I was that Mom was spending so much money on my husband and I, how grateful we should be. Each time we went to buy a special drink, she would remind us it cost extra money. Each time we discussed buying pictures or merchandise, she reminded us not to abuse our mom's kindness. One day she would encourage talking to our mom about purchasing something. The next day, telling me I'm being selfish and not thinking about Mom, when all I did was retell what she said to me the previous day. On many occasions during dinner in the crowded dining hall, she would either slow her speech to talk to me like a child or try and teach me how to do things properly so I don't screw them up next time. There was even a time she handed me a signature photo album book for our waitress to sign for Cassie. I was very overwhelmed and had an anxiety attack and just kind of blanked. Amber was yelling instructions at me where she could have easily done what she wanted herself. Then she continued to berate me in front of over 40 people. I was utterly humiliated. She said she couldn't fathom how I couldn't understand the simplest of instructions. I had never in all my life been so torn down by her. She treated me so poorly. I was up most nights sick. I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. I wanted to enjoy myself, but felt like I was in a nightmare. My husband was furious. I know that there's always like sibling rivalry sometimes, or arguments or disagreements, but for your husband watching all that, I'm sure he was like, you're not going to treat my man like that. This is a good time for a sip of water because I selfishly need it. So grab your beverage, take a sip of water today, okay? Just one. Actually, a lot more than one, but in the least. Cheers. I asked my mom if she knew what was going on. She said yes, but she wouldn't tell us. I said I'd go talk to Amber. My mom begged me not to. That Amber would come tell me what's going on her own. Well, she never did. With each passing day, she got even more and more unbearable to be around. She got meaner and meaner, even publicly accusing me of forcing our mom to do our laundry, when I was just asking how the machine worked. Out of the 7-day cruise, my husband and I only got 8 hours together alone to enjoy our honeymoon. Not much of a honeymoon at that point. Everything else was either spent with someone in the family, mostly catering to Cassie or Amber, going on group excursions, which were most fun, and wandering about the ship with my family again. I love my family, but I will never ever travel with my sister again. I've never ever treated her the way she treated me. I honestly felt like she hated me. After the cruise, I sent her a letter explaining how hurt I was, how I felt like her own personal punching bag, how I felt so disrespected and used. She, in turn, wrote me a novel explaining her finances, my mother's finances, and listing the many reasons why she was acting the way she was, trying to excuse her behavior towards me. She then wrote an apology, or at least my mom, who read the letter, said it was a good apology, and to drop the situation and move on. This is a copy paste from her, quote, apology. Okay. Got the tea. Quote, I'm not trying to pretend I'm some saint here. I should have realized how frustrated I was getting and asked you guys why you were making things so hard. And instead, I assumed that you were being difficult for no reason and let my frustration build until my fuse turned into a switch. I lost my cool a lot, and I know how I get when that happens. It's not nice at all, and I am genuinely sorry for that. Then directly followed by this. In hindsight, I also should have been a lot more explicit that the whole spa thing was about Mom getting a break, not me wanting to monopolize her time, instead of assuming you would realize that on your own. And I could have made up a little calendar or something so we could all be on the same page of when it would happen, assuming you were willing, rather than hoping you'd be able to figure it out without me having to pester you every day. If nothing else, that would have given the two of you a chance to let me know that this was never a family cruise to you, and that there was no way you were going to give up an hour of your honeymoon every day, even as a thank you to Mom for paying for the whole thing. And then I could have figured out a plan B that wouldn't have required a single thing from either of you. That just seemed a little passive aggressive. Am I the only one taking it that way? Again, I love my sister, I love my family, but the reactions have been terrible. My mom has pretty much sided with my sister, radio silent to my husband. They used to talk every day. saying I crushed Amber by calling her out. If it was my intention to hurt Amber, I succeeded. Even though she told me she agreed that Amber was in the wrong, I should have just let it all go. That she doesn't want to die knowing I broke our family. My brother wants nothing to do with it and has dropped communication except one conversation, also taking her side, saying her silence was better than me raising a stink, saying he would have to have his health fail and have him die knowing the family was in shambles. Her partner Tim, silence. Amber is completely silent after issuing me an ultimatum. Unless I can prove to her that I'm not selfish, ungrateful, gaslighting, and a liar, then she's done with our relationship. Preferred outcome: to have my family back. Realistic outcome: maybe I can get them to agree to family counseling to repair what little is left of our relationship. But in all honesty, it looks pretty grim. I don't want to sound dramatic, but my heart literally hurts every day. I wanted to give my husband an actual family that would love him for him. I felt with all my heart it would be my family, but they all prove that's not going to happen. Dropping it and forgiving her mistreatment would only result in me resenting my family. I don't want to lose them, but feel so abused by them. I'm lost. I don't know what to do. Am I wrong for asking my sister for a proper apology? Or is it even worth it at this point? I honestly would take any advice because both my husband and I are at a total loss. Thank you. And we do have an update that's very recent, like this week. All right, so this update came January 23rd, 2025. When I wrote my first post, I was not in a place where I was able to remove myself fully from my mom. Reason being is this. Right off the cruise, after I sent my sister Amber the letter explaining how she hurt me on my honeymoon, my mom was working on my husband and I to let a family friend do our taxes. This was when she was still talking to my husband and telling us she agreed my sister was in the wrong for her actions. We had been going to a company for 15 years, but she was extremely convincing, saying her friend had 15 years accounting experience. Her friend also said this. We accepted as she asked us, and we trust her. And that trust bit us in the ass hard. This was back in August of 2024. Next thing we know, the family screwed up on our taxes so bad, we are now owing a large sum of money back to the government, double digits. I had to pay double digits in taxes last year. It's not fun. We found this out unexpectedly in December of 2024, and our world was immediately flipped upside down. But in a way, I guess it is as bad as our financial situation. It's come with a lot of clarity. FYI, with my husband's adoptive mom's help/experience, we have managed to hopefully be okay somewhat. We can fix it in a couple of years, maybe 5 or 6, which is something. Unfortunately, our great credit we have been working on for over 9 years has been destroyed, which is devastating. That's awful. That's so sad. Fuck taxes. I hate them. My mom refused to help in any way, not even offering us help to find resources or solutions, telling me that it was our fault for not doing our taxes in the first place. It was hard not to blame her for getting us to trust her friend. My husband and I are adults, and we made the choice to put our trust in her. We own that choice. Still sucks though. Nobody sends happy birthdays on my birthday or happy holidays for Christmas, which was something never forgotten, but this year was missed. Because of this, on top of everything else, my husband and I decided to go no contact and did so with all of my family members. Amber, Tim, Amber's partner, mom, and brother. As space, we felt it was for the best. We didn't know how long, but we knew for our health that it was best. Now comes January 2025, when things took an even more bizarre and brutal turn. Suddenly on our social media accounts, a poster left comments exposing our financial situation. It was so accurate that we knew who it came from, as the only person who knew were my husband and I, my mom, and her friend who did the taxes. I sent screenshots to my mom asking if she knew anything about it. She denied having any involvement. We blocked the accounts within an hour. Tim reached out through Facebook. I forgot to block him. And he said that nobody knew he was sending me this message, as he was checking up on me, and that he and the family didn't know how to act on how my husband and I were acting. Right away, we looked at the posts, the accounts that we blocked, and put 2 and 2 together. The account that posted the private financial information was Tim. How the hell did Tim know? I again reached out to my mom, but this time by phone, said to her to tell me the truth about the post. She began to cry and said that she told Amber all of our financial information because, quote, she needed to talk to someone about it. I informed her that she broke both my husband and my trust by doing so. She blatantly lied to me when I asked the first time. We asked her not to tell anyone, and she told my sister, who she knew we were going through problems with. We also discovered that my mom also told her best friend and Amber all of my and my husband's private medical information. Why? Which shortly after, Amber created another account and began to slander us online with this information, going across all our media sites we use and doing the same thing. Like, Tim and Amber, are you guys bored? Are you bored that you just have to taunt your family online? This was shocking, as my mom has never ever divulged financial or medical information to me about my siblings when I've asked in the past, always saying that it was not her business, and if I was curious, I had to ask them. So why was my husband and I not given the same respect? We were then dealing with this for over 2 weeks, reporting and blocking accounts. It was so incredibly horrible. Again, I sent screenshots to my mom to show her how the information she gave was now being used against us publicly, proving it was Amber and Tim, and yet she stood by them. Over time, through the slander, my mom and brother, we learned that my mom, Amber, Tim, and brother had been constantly talking about my husband and I way before the wedding. Amber and my mom especially, and not in a positive way. We also found out through my sister's slander the true feelings towards my husband. They hate him, which broke our hearts. He's too gay. He's a drug abuser. He's been clean 9 years. Lazy, dirty, etc. Awful things. The family has made it known that they find me unstable, brainwashed, and stupid, and that my husband is a terrible manipulator who's pulling the strings. My mom then began to send pictures of Cassie to my phone as I had her blocked on all of social media. I asked her to stop as it was a form of guilt tripping and avoidance in regard to her actions. She got very mad at me, trying to guilt me, so I blocked her phone number, which was the last form of contact we had. Now my whole immediate family is fully blocked and I feel sick to my stomach. We only got married last July and I feel like my inner family literally died. It crushes me almost daily. I'm doing my best to get by, but my sleep and appetite are affected. I've already been getting mental help, which has been good. There's a big reason why I blocked them, and I'm writing this update as it's been recommended to just put it out there in the world. I honestly don't know what to do, if it's even possible to have them in my life again. Nasty words were exchanged on both sides. My husband was so attacked by them, all the honesty, that he's emotionally done. I don't blame him. I cannot ask him to allow them back into his life. They were awful to him, which means that making things right feels impossible. We do have a good support group of family and friends we made, though not connected by blood. We are both blessed and grateful. This does make it a bit better as we have people to fall back on, thankfully. I have no other updates. Hopefully they can leave us alone. Hopefully we can live in peace and I can learn to get over losing that part of my life. All of the THT family advice and words have been so eye-opening, and both my husband and I thank you for putting what was wrong to light. You were all right. I'm just so sad that it was all true. I'll keep you posted if anything else happens, but hopefully it doesn't. Small edit, as I keep seeing questions regarding our finances. I had to ask my husband to give a small description as he is the one dealing directly with it. Mom's friend messed up, and when we inquired, she made sure and said to enjoy our money. So we went and paid off all our bills and wedding, etc. In December, we found out we owed and went into debt consolidation to help us pay off things as we were en route to bankruptcy. Okay, maybe double digits is a lot more than I'm thinking, and I definitely didn't pay that then because I did not go bankrupt. What the hell? What do you mean by double digits? Like over $10,000? Like the double digits of thousands? Am I an idiot? Well, we didn't really want to go into too much detail as this could get legal, but we do have a lot of documents to show Mom's friend believed she knew what she was doing. We don't believe she did it on purpose, but made a mistake. She's now retired, so does not work for that company. We are still working on the financial side of things. So at the moment, we must focus on stabilizing our situation before we can move forward, if this even is an option, or the payment plan for us will take approximately 5 to 6 years due to the large sum of money we spent. with the understanding that it was our money to spend. Everyone, even the financial help we received, are shocked the CRA did not catch the mistake right away on their end, but when they did, we only got the email in December. However, the interest was built up from when the mistake was made. Oh my God. In Canada, the CRA can be quite brutal. Yes, they can. Thankfully, we seem to be doing okay, but that's all I have for now about it. I hope that clears some stuff up. You know, in the first half of this story, I was like, surely you guys can make up. We can move on from this. We can totally reconcile and work this out. But then in the second half, there's a lot more here. There's a lot more to this story, and I feel a lot more to these relationships that obviously I wouldn't know about. But that's a lot. Stay classy out there, you guys. Stay fancy, and I'll see you tomorrow.